Hey, what's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with a review of this new Hus Kingpin album entitled Portishead. Let's get to it. Alright, so Hus Kingpin is a prolific rapper coming out of Hempstead, Long Island, the birthplace to rappers like A+, Rock Marciano, and of course, the late great prodigy of Mobb Deep. Now, Hus Kingpin is one of the hardest working rappers in the game, releasing multiple projects each year. In a way similar to Rock Marciano, Hus Kingpin brings you into whatever creative space or world he is immersed in at the time. And on this new album, Portishead, Hus Kingpin pays homage to the 90s English band Portishead, who were basically looked at as the founders of trip hop, a down-tempo and psychedelic subgenre that was based out of Bristol, England. And Portishead in the 90s, I guess you could say, had a hand in paving the way for the trippy and muddy kind of instrumentation that is widely used in hip-hop today, especially in the underground. So this Hus Kingpin album was inspired by Portishead. It appears that some songs may directly sample from the group, while others are more loosely inspired by the band's sound in general. It contains 20 tracks, all packed tightly into the album's 59 minutes of runtime. I feel Hus Kingpin really succeeds in creating a mood or vibe throughout this whole album. It's a real unique listening experience, but with that being said, let me go ahead and hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. This thing kicks off with the battle ready track, Who Made You Look?, produced by Prince P. Now, this uses the same sample from LL Cool J's I Shot Ya remix, and I honestly can't think of a doper sample for an artist to use to open up an album with. It just has this real commanding presence. Huss is talking his shit and spitting that real braggadocio rap. Don't make me drop your name in this hook. Your bitch, she a slave to a page in my phone book. He also gives us a clever hustling reference with date night, we spinning that white girl, that's a slow dance, all soft, we don't sell boy, we don't bromance. So I thought this was an explosive opening song and probably one of Huss's most energetic or animated moments lyrically on this tape. On track 2, Barriers, Huss kicks some fly poetic bars about breaking through emotional barriers. This one is shorter at only 1 minute and 30 seconds in length, but I like the lo-fi, jazzy, and ethereal boom bap aesthetic. The following song, Meet the Poet, finds Huss spitting more expressive rhymes, but this time over a beautiful flute-like beat. It's a serene and vibe-heavy song where he's taking the listener on a smooth journey. His unique vocabulary and evocative pen game is on full display here. Like Rakim once said, hip-hop is rhythm and poetry, and this song really embodies the essence of an MC being creative with his words. Track 4, Beth Gibbons, finds Huss paying homage to the lead singer of Portishead, Beth Gibbons. This has a nocturnal and eerie instrumental that includes a haunting vocal section from Beth Gibbons. I feel this was a really standout track. Some bars that caught my attention were, I could show you where the dead lives, where the screams are repetitive. There's nothing like dead quiet. It's a darker vibe, both sonically and lyrically for sure. Right after this is The Strugglin', a track where Huss tells the story of people who have been beaten down or discouraged by life's hardships. Maybe they are sick or just fell on hard times. This contains a slowed down sample of the song Jay-Z used for The Evils, a beat that you really can't go wrong with, by the way. I also like the hook by L.A., who I feel was a nice addition to the song. Huss's bars are pretty heartfelt and poignant here. I saw the plague on your face, but for months I kept passing, stuck in my own passage. All that potential, you was robbed of it. I barely noticed the fight you put up. He also throws in the jewel, the most beautiful waves crash into rocks. Just something to think about. The tension begins to build on the following record, Belly. Huss and female MC Rain drop some lyrical bombs over a moody boom bap production. Huss states, super dry rum colored sweatsuits, I dog walk you dudes, this is pet school, sacrifice you on a night, I blow a chess move, diagrams in sequence, I checkmate crew. So I like the imagery and wordplay here. I thought Rain had a dope verse as well. She came through with some hungry and hard-hitting bars. Overall, I really liked this track as it gave off a very authentic 90s aesthetic. The next song, A Killer's Quench, takes on an even grimier tone. Huss and his guests, Dozer the Drum Dealer, Vinny Paz, and Kingpin Slim spit some vicious verses over this off-kilter guitar riff. I thought everyone had a solid verse, but it was mainly Vinny Paz, Kingpin Slim, and Hus Kingpin who stuck out the most to me. Kingpin Slim said, "Fish scale for sale, I ain't guy fish for compliments." And these dudes cap. That's a hat trick. Right after this is the Graham Tape, a song that has gained quite a bit of attention due to a specific line. It's unknown at this point who he was addressing on this song, but it feels like he was definitely sending shots at someone. He states, "It's time to scratch off the scabs. Pictures with Jay won't stop albums from being trash." So in the comment section, let me know, did y'all think this was a verse aimed at someone in particular, or was this just a battle rap bar in general? But yeah, I love the crisp drums and watery keys. This dank style of production, I feel, really captures the essence of the Portishead sound, and it's also one of my favorite songs. The following record, Ageless, finds Hus Kingpin reuniting with Cali spitter Roxy to do some storytelling on top of a sinister piano loop. The two paint a picture of a young woman who was led astray. It kind of reminds me somewhat of a part 2 to their storytelling track from last year's The Hidden Painting EP. Huss states, "I wrote this on a headstone in Germany, in Cologne. Product hit the streets in Rome. I smell coke in the air. Shorty wop rubbing stones. Clean feet, open toes. She a vulnerable soul." I really dig his distinct imagery and unique way of putting words together. He also states, "Catch her in the pages of Playboy. This the episode of Huss. Word to Big Noid." Now that's obviously a reference to Big Noid's debut EP, The Episodes of a Hustler, which dropped in 1996, a super slept on release from that incredible year. Definitely got to peep the Havoc production on there. It's crazy. Another highlight for me is the track Dark Morning. This Prince P produced track features the Queensbridge veteran Big Twins of the infamous Mob, as well as Prince P, who raps under the moniker of Cashmere P. This psychedelic guitar riff kind of reminded me of some of the David Axelrod samples that rappers would have used back in the 90s. In fact, I totally could have heard Kool G rap on this beat. While everyone had solid verses, it was Big Twins who stole the show for me. He really brought an extra layer of griminess to this already gritty track. He states, "Since Prodigy gone, I haven't been right." The following track, The Professionals, has somewhat of an eerie spy beat. This features Rosewood and Sage Infinite. There's a lot of gritty MCing on top of this suspenseful beat. Huss actually turns his verse into a lyrical porno of sorts. And, you know, he has a propensity to do this at times on some Ghostface, Wildflower type shit. Up next is the trippy, the Atticus play. Now, this beat might actually put the P in psychedelic. The eerie organs and dense drums definitely make it a dark and hypnotic listen. On here, Huss is spitting more pimp-like imagery in addition to making threats. It's certainly the most bizarre and trance-like instrumental on the whole tape. It's the essence of trippy. Things lighten up somewhat with the subsequent record, Money, Sex, and Drugs. This is easily the waviest song on the project as well. It features Mussolini, an artist who has worked alongside Hus Kingpin before. Now, they both have very understated and smooth flows, so I felt this collaboration definitely worked. This transitions effortlessly into the record Kool Keith, and what I liked most about this song was the chilly bell production, which I found to be very authentically 90s sounding. It kind of reminded me of a mix between DITC and Griselda. On here, Huss is back in his sexually explicit bag, spitting some more porno style rhymes inspired by Dr. Octagon himself, Mr. Cool Keith. Right after, we get the Rags to Riches and luxury rap inspired track The Heroes, featuring Ransom and Willie the Kid. Over this lavish and elegant piano sample, the three spit some very impressive verses. Towards the end of Huss's verse, he states, "Your favorite rapper wears a shirt in the pool." Thought that was kind of funny. What follows is Chasing Ghosts, featuring underground rap veteran Breeze Bruin of the Juggernauts. You are getting really dope wordplay from these two, backed by some ghostly bell production. This one is definitely an underground gem. After this is The Intruders, featuring Vaughn Poe and Ty Ferris. It has an eerie and cinematic backdrop. Vaughn Poe stands out with his strong Southern California cadence, but it was Ty Ferris who had the best verse. He says, "I bring back the days when Flex said grab the tape decks. All we cared about was bars and making sure we kept the J's fresh." Get it? J's meaning Jordans, but also junkies or fiends. Up next is the bouncier Shooters harmony. Huss is using somewhat of a double time flow. There's also more of a melodic hook from Spade Bang Bino, but don't get it twisted, this was still a pretty dark record. The second to last song is Sunkiss Part 2, produced by Stu Bangers. This is the remix to the original, which dropped last year, but the beat remained the same. The instrumental has sort of an electronic boom bap feel, which kind of reminds me of some older Ill Mind production. Still, there was a West Coast flavor to this track. The album ends with the Snotty Jail freestyle, which contains a phoned in verse from his boy Snotty. It's a raw and uncut way to close out an album. Snotty states, "Last fiend I gave a sample, he died in the hall." You know, some real gutter street shit. Overall, I give this album a rating of a strong 4 mics, maybe close to a 4.5. I'll have to see with time, as the year progresses, if it does go up for me. But yeah, I thought this was a very unique, eclectic, and creative body of work. I could really appreciate this album for 3 reasons. Number 1, it was something different that didn't sound forced or corny. You could tell that Hus Kingpin, was passionate about this project and he really put his time in it. Number 2, there was plenty of great rapping throughout, whether from Huss or his guests. The bars were definitely in abundance. And number 3, I tend to prefer a trippy style of instrumentation as well as sample-based production, so I was pleased with everything sonically. It was dark at times, but also flavorful and a little wavy. So I've heard some of Portishead's music before, but thanks to Hus Kingpin, I do plan to delve a little deeper into their catalog. My favorite tracks include Who Made You Look, Beth Gibbons, Belly, A Killer's Quench, The Graham Tape, Dark Morning, The Atticus Play, Cool Keith, and Chasing Ghosts. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section below. What should I check out next? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Hus Kingpin, Portis Hus 1.